When is a swivel pipe more appropriate than a level sill spillway, and vice versa? What circumstances do you consider which sway your decision, one way or the other? Is there any special maintenance required for either, or is upkeep pretty easy? Well, you'd always put a level sill spillway in. There's one just behind me, I'll show you in a minute. If you think there's an excessive catchment flow, so you wouldn't use just a swivel pipe unless you are pretty sure that you have a very small flow, because that volume there of that pipe, and you swivel it down or you take it off, that's all you've got. You know, that's a very small constricted pipe. And if you haven't got a spillway to take the big charge of water, there's a good chance it's going to go down the outside of this pipe and blow out the swale at this point, because once water finds it hasn't got an exit point and there's a hard surface on the outside of the pipe, it'll go past it. Now, that's not a great drama on a swale, because it's not like a dam coming down. The swale mount is uncompacted, it's easy to repair, and almost any material will repair it. So I would only use simply a swivel pipe if I was sure we had a very, very small amount of catchment. Now, I'd have to question why you're putting a swale in there as well then. But it might happen. So really, swivel pipes are an afterthought to swales, because the spillway sets the height in the swale. We can move the swivel pipe down below the height of the level sill spillway, even down to the base of the swale just about, and empty the swale. It allows you to change the height of the water in the swale if you want to drop it lower. It doesn't gain you any height. It just gives you the ability to drop lower if you want to. So in some ways, the swivel pipe is a flood mitigation system. When installed well, there is no maintenance on a swivel pipe. I mean, I doubt that that's going to wear out that sort of unglued fitting. It's just simply a fitting that hasn't been glued in. There's no pressure on it because of very low pressure of water. But if we go over here, behind me is a level sill, and this level sill is one of 3 level sills on this particular swale. This is a very long swale, goes right around our campsite, starts off at Paradise Dam, goes through Mafia Dam and through Campers Lagoon and right out the other side. There are actually 4 swivel pipes on it and 3 spillways. One's an emergency spillway, and it's about that much higher than this particular level sill. So one's set a bit higher for an emergency flow. The swivel pipes can help drain it off if we get very large flows. Now, there is some maintenance on level sills because they need to be weed free so they don't choke. So you don't want lots and lots of weeds on your level sill spillway. Now here, this one happens to have been fitted up after this dam behind me was put in, because it was all swale once, and this level sill was in function a bit further over where the dam is, so we reconstructed here. We have a bamboo on the downhill side and a mulberry, and then more or less keeping it weed free. So we've almost by accident made it a maintenance free level sill. It's perfectly level, the dam wall's there, the swale goes on for nearly half a mile or so, 500 meters plus. And we've only got a little bit here of pinto peanut growing, which is a perennial ground cover legume. There are 1 or 2 arrowroot that might come up. So we would, if there's any weed growth that might choke the flow, we'll maintain it by cleaning this off, cutting the weeds or cutting the grasses and keeping it nice and low, particularly when we know rainy season's coming and we're likely to get some big solid rains in quick bursts. And that's it, there isn't anything else to it. I really almost always install a level sill just to make sure that we can discharge very large volumes, especially with climate varying so much, more than it has before, it seems, in living memory. And you know, normally we'd only get half an inch of water across this. An inch would be a massive flow, but it could take 5 or 6 inches, which would be enormous. It would be absolutely massive. There's no way the swivel pipe will handle that. That's only this little section in this big long length of swale. Level sill spillway. Level sill spillways are a security for a swale.